We shall double our efforts.
I hope so, Commander, for your sake. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am. And remember, I choke men all the time.
You just said you choke men all the time.
Yes, that's what I said.
Choke men all the time.
I choke men when they misbehave. Do you want to get choked?
Well,
I'll
no,
choke every single one of you if I have to get this battle station complete.
Is there anything else you can do, or is it just choking?
I can do a lot of things.
What things? What do you like to do?
I can choke men with my hands. I can choke men with the Force.
Seems to be a lot.
There's just choking men, isn't it, really?
In lots of different ways. Finish the battle station!
Ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a geek.
Hello and welcome to 8 Days a Geek. My name is Chris Weeks and I am joined by
AJ Cheng
and
Ben Pryor.
And we have come together to discuss the finale of the original trilogy of Star Wars called Return of the Jedi.
Da-na-na,
Da-na,
Etc. You know how it goes.
Yes.
This is very exciting, boys.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we have concluded a trilogy. That's quite exciting. Obviously, all of the original trilogy is absolutely amazing. This was my favourite film when I was younger. I've only recently got more into... I say recently, I mean, I'm very old now, but in like my teens, I got into Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
But yeah, this was the one for me growing up. I looked at this one and thought, that is awesome. Luke is awesome. Everything is
Yeah.
cool. So I'm excited. How are we feeling?
Yeah.
Good.
Pumped. It's gonna be good.
Very good to finally finish something.
It's a funny feeling, isn't it?
But because we've been on Lord of the Rings for a very
Well, we
long
have.
time.
Lord of the Rings is a tricky one.
Since we started, but Star Wars we've seemed to blast right through it.
He says that as though that means something, but
Yeah, I
that
think
could
it's
be in
some
any...
weird connection to
Like a blaster.
Oh, I thought Blastor or Blaster.
What are you saying? Blast door.
Blast door.
Blast, like a blast.
Oh, a blast
Door.
door.
Right.
He's got that Crawley accent that just doesn't help him.
Yeah,
does
it's
it?
Crawley!
Luton Airport.
Yeah.
Luton!
Birmingham New Street.
Well, we're not doing this because we'll be...
Is that an airport?
Yeah, we are still in Birmingham because
are.
we are doing 2 podcasts a week. How do we feel about that, boys?
Honestly, it's really good because we obviously we're still in the middle of the two towers, the
Yeah.
two towers. But yeah, we've got these two things running side by side. I think it works quite well. My thoughts have been full of comparisons and parallels.
I think
which
that's
is really
why
cool.
it works a lot better because
Yeah.
we have been running with. I mean, we can also slightly compare this to Return of the King as well because we'll
Yeah,
start
I
that next
suppose so.
week
Yeah.
and stuff. But this film is an interesting one because, like we were saying earlier, the fans will look at this film now as the weakest of the 3.
Yeah, and that's a tricky thing to say because obviously all 3 of these
Yeah.
films are tremendous.
And when I say weak,
Yeah.
I don't mean bad film.
No.
Just their least favourite. But it did have to follow Empire, which is...
Well, that's the thing.
That's the
thing. I think
Following Empire Strikes Back is
We were
hard.
talking about the middle film being, this one in particular, being so incredible, and it's always tricky to get the second film right.
Yeah.
But when they do it so right, it's like, right, now the next one's going to be the difficult one to
Well,
follow.
I think the thing is that with Star Wars, or rather with films before Star Wars, before 1977, there was no... they didn't really do trilogies that fed into each other. So, like, you had The Godfather, but part 2 of The Godfather was completely independent, really. Bond, obviously, is rocking around, but, I mean, they're all independent standalone films.
Yeah.
It hadn't really happened. So the sequel thing was brand new, and then it worked so incredibly well. They didn't sort of have the pressure of that. The middle one is always the tricky one.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a thing. They're only the tricky one now because Empire was so good.
That's right.
And now they finish it off, and it's amazing how revolutionary it was, really.
He must have been one of the first to make a universe, a cinematic universe, rather than just a single film experience where you go in and...
Oh,
you
weirdly
go
though,
and
but
it's
I
over.
mean, George Lucas on this film was only the producer.
Yeah. Oh, he was writing the script as well with
But
Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah,
But he was an yeah.
Yeah, and so he had a lot more other people input, and I
Yeah.
think, in my opinion, this is the start of the yes man kind of mode that people started to,
Oh, do you think so?
to do towards George Lucas. That he'd had these 2 films had been insanely massive, and I think they started to yes him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot on this rather than question him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is tricky, isn't it?
Because you'd think, I mean, like the famous line where Luke says to Leia, "You're my sister."
Yeah.
And Leia says, "I know. I've always known."
Yeah.
You're right.
So it's getting flashbacks.
Yeah.
Difficult
You'd
to do.
think that one of the actors, or how we've heard of how they were in Empire and
Yeah.
A New Hope, you'd think they'd go, well, hang on, if she's always known, then isn't that going to look dodgy
Yeah.
in the film before? But it's kind of...
It's
there
difficult.
Seems to be a bit of a back off. But we start this film, and we're back at Tatooine,
We are.
and
We are.
we start with C-3PO and R2-D2
Yeah. Approaching Jabba's palace.
approaching
Yeah.
Jabba's palace.
So we're about a year later from Empire.
Yeah.
So Han has been in Carbonite for a year.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they've been searching around. Lando and Chewie went off to search for him, obviously, and they've
Yeah.
discovered that he... I mean, we always knew he was going to Jabba, right?
Because carbonite is generally used to take bounties, isn't it? Too.
Well, it's used for the gas. That's the thing. I know that in Mando he uses it,
Yeah.
but like in the
But
this.
Mandalorian is after Return
Oh
of the
yeah, I
Jedi.
suppose so.
But
So-
it's like a preserving thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It preserves someone in the state they are in.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's commonly used with bounties anyway, because
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a
absolutely.
way of getting to just go there without fighting.
Yeah, but Han was the tester. Like,
Right.
because so Vader was like, he was the tester for Luke, because Vader wanted to put Luke in and transport him to the Emperor that way. Do you remember that? Luke falls into the pit, he kicks him in,
Yeah,
he goes,
yeah.
"Oh, too easy," and then he flicks the switch, but Luke's already out. So Han's the tester to see if he'll survive, and obviously he does. But yeah, it's not really been done before. They used it for the Tibana gas on Bespin.
This whole Jabba's palace bit,
Mm.
I think is good, but I think it just goes on for too long. In my opinion, it was just that they'd slowly bring someone in. So you got
Well, it's true.
C-3PO
It's a
that goes
very
in
convoluted
first,
plan.
Then Leia goes in first.
Yeah.
And then finally Luke goes in.
You
And
would
you
have thought they would have all got together beforehand and gone, guys, this is the plan. Okay?
Well, it's Luke's plan, isn't it?
yeah, it is
Yeah.
Luke's plan.
It's,
yeah.
But it's bizarre. Like, he sends in the droids and they play the hologram of him, which in fairness, the hologram is awesome because he says a Jedi Knight and a friend to Captain Solo, and it's the first time he says that he's a Jedi Knight. And he's
Yeah.
dressed all in black. You can see his lightsaber,
Awesome.
and his manner is completely different.
That
Don't you
was,
think?
well, I think that,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
that
Yeah.
must have been the first time that I wanted to be a Jedi. Was
Yeah.
seeing Luke in the full black
full
robe.
black.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
For me, that's why I like this film so much, because I was always into Luke when I was younger.
Yeah.
And as I've grown older, I've got more into Han Solo.
yeah.
But yeah, I always wanted to be Luke, especially in this film, because
Yeah.
he's just so cool.
So cool. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not in a cool way. If you know what I mean, like Han Solo is a cool character.
Yeah.
Luke is not a cool character,
No,
but he's just so.
yeah.
Don't know. He's got the confidence now of massive power.
Yeah. And you kind of do sit. There is a deleted scene that wasn't put in the final film of Luke making making his
lightsaber.
new lightsaber.
Oh.
A year after he's lost the old one.
I know.
Isn't that interesting?
Did wonder that.
He had a stick between them.
Yeah. And he doesn't carry a blaster anymore as well, which I
Right,
always thought was
yeah.
cool. He has it in
Yeah.
Empire even for the duel. He has it there. He doesn't use it,
Yeah, and
obviously,
his
but-
cool kind of brownishy kind
Yeah, it's a great
of.
outfit.
So I love that outfit. I've
Yeah.
always wanted that. It's very much like Beatles Shea Stadium kind of.
Oh wow!
outfit.
There you go.
That's
Might
what
have been the
I quite like.
inspiration, you never know.
Yeah, in fairness.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, Ben.
Okay.
But
What are you doing? Where
but yes, so they've all come.
Yeah.
It all ain't gone well for them.
No.
Luke, oh God, can you just? You can do quite a deuce. You can
Do a deuce?
You can do quite a good C-3PO impression.
No, I can't.
Yes,
Where
you
does that come
Can
from?
you please do the thermal detonator line?
What? He's holding a thermal detonator!
And then everyone goes, woo!
Everyone goes
That
mental.
doesn't sound like 3PO to me.
But that's, no, in fairness, no. It's just, you have to go a bit wild with it.
Yeah.
He's just having Ben.
Yeah, come on.
So judgmental these days.
my shins?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
God,
keep forgetting
yeah.
about
Shin
the
splint.
splints.
Shin splint pride.
But
they call
yeah,
them.
and then he gets, Luke kind of goes a bit cray-cray,
Yeah, it does, yeah.
and he uses the Force, tries to get the blaster.
Oh, yeah. But
Um,
Luke's already used Force Choke. Let's just mention that.
Oh, God,
On
yeah.
the Gamorrean guards, when they come in, the Gamorrean, however you say it. And they both get thrown back by this.
Yeah.
It's the dark side power. What's he up to? Mad.
First the black
that's-
robes, then that. It's just
That's,
Yeah.
that's a nice little because also Vader used Force Choke in A New Hope, and then straight away
Yeah.
on the first. And that
You
was
know
what,
Vader's a dark side. That's what I'm saying. Like, Luke shouldn't be using that power. He's like
but it's showing the family
Oh
resemblance.
yeah.
Actually,
And they look a lot more similar.
Don't
Anakin
they
and
have
Luke.
to
that is.
be...
Oh, I was gonna say.
Not Vader and Luke.
Now, don't you have to be taught how to do certain things, especially if they're a dark side force ability?
Well, Luke has been studying, of course, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a telekinetic thing where they're literally squeezing the windpipe, so I suppose
Yeah.
it's the same as calling a lightsaber, or I suppose. But this is what he's been doing in his year. He's been studying and studying and studying, going all over the galaxy and learning about the Jedi and all
Yeah,
that.
he's. I mean, if you think about the prequels as well and everything, he's probably the darkest Jedi at this
Well,
point
yeah.
that we've ever seen.
Well, I mean,
Or
yeah,
do
I
ever
suppose so.
see.
Yeah.
Other than Rey blowing up that ship.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she is a Palpatine, as we learn.
Yeah.
Ridiculously.
Whoops-a-daisy Rey.
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Force lightning needs to be taught as well. It's an ancient thing, and it takes years.
Oh, yeah, it's
That's
like the
how
ultimate.
Dooku gets it as well.
Unless you are Rey, because she just.
Oh yeah, but
Does it by instinct.
a Mary Sue or Rey, as she's called in the
Tough
films.
stuff.
But, it's amazing. You hardly ever see anything she gets taught, but
Yeah.
bang, she can do it all really.
Yeah.
Whereas Luke, was trained.
He has trained, but not for that long. It's still like, in my mind, his advancement is remarkable, but more explicable than Rey's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always accepted it, whereas Rey's I'm a bit like, the Jedi trained from like 2 years old,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they were knighted after like 20 years or something, and
Yeah.
just do it. And
It's too
get
much
it with
that
Luke
she
because
can
he's.
do. But we're not going to talk about.
No, we're
But
not.
then-
We're not.
but then
We can't.
Luke gets
We're in the palace.
dropped, a little door opens,
To the rancor.
and he's faced with a rancor. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the bone.
Yeah.
He just shoves that bone.
Amazing.
But
It looks great.
it's actually really, really good.
It's a puppet. It's a puppet. They tried to do it with an actor in a suit, and they had to do it with
Is
a
it
puppet.
stop motion? I
I
thought.
thought it
Yeah,
was stop
yeah,
motion.
it's all sped up, but yeah, oh my god,
But
amazing.
the poor guy, I don't know if he owns him or
the
looks
keeper.
after him.
Fan.
I love that keeper. Yeah.
Referenced him a lot. Yeah.
Well, who is this guy?
There's a couple of moments in this film which I like that, where you're a bit like, oh my god, who is this?
Yeah.
You know, it happens with the Ewoks later as well. You remember one of them gets blasted?
don't. That
The
breaks me.
saddest thing.
That
so-
breaks
And their little mate comes over and is like,
he
he starts
does a-
wailing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's supposed to be like, oh, it's okay because it's not human, so we keep it in like a U film or a PG film, whatever it is. But my god, it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
That was very much
Oh.
like an Empire Strikes Back kind of. There's still a bit of darkness.
It really is.
And-
Honestly, there's so much darkness in this film.
Yeah.
It's
See, with the
remarkable.
weeping guy, with the Rancor.
The Keeper, yeah.
the Keeper. See, they were featured in the Old Republic as well.
Right.
Star Wars: The Old Republic. They were Rancor, and they
Yeah.
were Rancor Keepers.
Yeah.
And that was their job. And they were cruel. They would have like kind of like tasers on
Right.
walls and stuff.
Torture them
Yeah,
and-
they would torture them, and they were kept in cages, and they were used for rich people's entertainment.
Mm.
And
Oh, I know exactly what. Is it in the Old Republic? What about the one Star Killer? Force
Oh,
Unleashed.
Force Unleashed.
You fight one of them there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
But
It's
like
great.
there's a
Yeah.
tiny one that comes out, and then there's
Yeah.
like a super
It's
massive
like,
one.
Yeah, a souped up one.
Yeah,
something like
but
that.
in the Old Republic, it was a palace that you had to infiltrate, and there were lots of Rancor there, and there would be lots of slaves that were put into this giant pit in the
Yeah.
middle, and all the rich people would watch over and have their drinks and dine. And
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
And the Rancor keepers, yeah, they were pretty cruel. So to see this guy having such a bond with this
Yeah.
beast, it was very bizarre.
Yeah, it's very different, isn't it? I suppose he could still be torturing it to make it do all that and still have a sort of love for it. Because he's like,
Yeah.
well, I have to do this because it has to perform its role,
Sure.
but I still love it. I think
Yeah.
it's a wonderful creature,
Yeah.
etc.
Very weird though. Very weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Yeah. That was one of the first moments where Star Wars wasn't explained,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I don't understand
sure,
this.
yeah. as a young kid, you are a bit like, oh, yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Not sure about
I've always had him. I've had that moment stuck in my head, and that Ewok moment.
Yeah.
But that makes
this.
me.
Both in this film.
That breaks me.
Yeah.
That
That one in particular is
I actually
absolutely
tear up over
heartbreaking.
that.
Yeah.
But
But Luke, I love the move that Luke does, the rock into the switch on the wall that
Brilliant,
drops
yeah.
on the Rancor.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
What a
So
way!
good.
That's thinking on his feet right there. What
Yeah.
a way to take down.
He's very instinctive,
Yeah.
which I really like about his character.
Yeah.
You know, so's Han in a way, but there
well,
it is.
I suppose they kind of he's brought up like that anyway. That he's had to live on Tatooine.
Yeah, hardly
away
easy.
from everyone. So I imagine he's got loads of random instincts and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and knows.
Oh yeah, of course.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's always
Like-
around beasts and different things and tattoos.
Yeah. Dewbacks and all that
But,
stuff.
yeah, and
But yeah.
Han has been.
He's been freed by
he's been
Leia.
freed by Leia.
Yeah, Leia in her bounty hunter costume because she brings in. She brings Chewbacca, of course.
Yeah.
Almighty Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Great stuff. It's great stuff.
But yeah, and
Really
Han,
is.
Han is blind.
Yeah.
because he's suffering from
I love that sequence because obviously Jabba and all of his like party are just behind that curtain.
Yeah.
And he's probably like, she's coming. Keep it down.
I know that voice. I know that laugh.
Amazing.
And then bang, they're all there, and you're just like, bang.
It's a really cool thing. The sequence of him coming out of the carbonite, I always remember that sound he makes with his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Han Solo wanted, as in Harrison Ford, wanted Han Solo to be killed.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And they didn't know if he was going to come back, which is why he was frozen in carbonite.
I understand why he wanted that. That would have been a massive, massive thing.
And I like that about him as an actor, that he's
Yeah.
like, this is how the character's story should unfold. I've done this, this is how it should end.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And he's wanted to kill him off ever since.
Yeah.
So,
And he got his wish.
He got his wish, yeah.
So
I
then,
sort of always thought that he would.
Then all the lads are taken on Jabba's...
The sail barge.
Yeah, that's it. I always loved the name. It was called a barge.
Yeah.
And we see Boba Fett as well.
We do.
Boba's there.
So
For the
that's-
first time.
yeah, really
oh,
cool.
no, not so.
No,
I say
second
that.
time, yeah.
He's in the
Sorry.
holiday special,
But
isn't
I
he?
always loved
No,
the
he's
little...
with, on Cloud City, isn't he?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
so he was in the holiday special. He was brought into Empire, and this is the first time we see him
Sure.
like in action.
Yeah, oh yeah, properly.
Because like we've seen him do bits and
I
pieces.
always
He fired a
loved
shot, but
Boba's little nod.
oh yeah,
Do you remember the little nod?
it's quite a big nod actually.
He puts his gun back and puts it like that. And
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah.
It's really good.
Luke's not to R2.
Oh,
Family.
Bam!
Done.
Bam!
the tension.
Bam!
But I mean, the tension in that moment is unbelievable. When
Yeah.
Luke is out on the
little
plank.
Yeah, I love that sequence.
Oh
I think
my
that's
God,
a great
It's the
sequence.
It's unbelievable.
giant monster
The
pit
Sarlacc,
isn't
yeah.
it?
What do you
Sarlacc.
think about, because obviously that was remastered.
Yeah, with the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky
And
one, isn't
you
it?
can, but when you look at it, you can tell that it's just pure CGI.
You can. There's a couple of moments like that. The dancer as well in Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
You're a bit like.
To be honest,
yeah.
when it is things, see, I'm alright with CGI when it's things like that. When it is things that are so beastie and they're
Yeah.
meant to just be in a pit, basically.
So it could look whatever.
Yeah, when it's something that's talking and interacting with humans, it's very difficult. But this is
Yeah.
just an entity that is like so
Yeah.
beastly.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Yeah, I suppose just I remember it. I think we had the VHS before it was remastered, so I remember
Yeah,
it
I
as-
saw that one as well.
I remember it as something.
Yeah.
And
It's
then,
just a hole in the ground, a monstrous hole in the ground.
And then watched it later and was like,
Don't
that
know.
wasn't
Where's
that.
this mouth come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all this sequence is very good.
Oh, it's brilliant. The
The,
music is amazing.
We see the green lightsaber.
The
for first
lightsaber.
time.
Obviously, it was supposed to be blue,
Beautiful. Yeah.
but they changed the colour because they couldn't see it against the sky.
Yeah.
Very practical. Now
Yeah.
legendary.
But the green lightsaber is meant to be for someone that studies more the Force.
Yeah, the consular.
Than they do actually more fighting techniques
That's right, yeah.
and,
Interesting, isn't it?
and stuff like that. There's a whole mythology that's come
Yeah.
behind that. That's why Yoda has a green lightsaber.
Yeah, yeah, and
Nice.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, and someone like Obi-Wan and Anakin
Mm.
that are more, you know,
Yeah, it
fight-based.
reflects their fighting styles as well. So
Exactly, yeah.
the
Well,
most-
there's so many fighting styles now.
I think
Yeah.
there's 6 main ones, isn't
Yeah.
there? And then,
Yeah, well, there's 7 if you include Mace Windu's,
Sure.
but he's the only one who uses it.
Yeah.
Varpad.
Yeah.
But
that's
yeah,
right.
that's a wonderful sequence. When you see that lightsaber fired out of R2,
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's like it takes me back to being a little boy. And
I
being
do-
like,
Did he always have a lightsaber compartment in his head?
who knows?
I mean, was that
I-
retrofitted in
I
there?
did always think though that it just slightly took a couple of seconds too long to get to Luke.
Yeah.
And if I was one of the
It
guards,
was a while, wasn't
if I
it?
were one of the guards, I'd go
Yeah. It's one of them
and
going...
just shoot him, rather than
Yeah.
going. Something's coming.
yeah.
It is a bummer.
I just wish Boba Fett just literally went, bam,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
Sorry,
killed
boss,
them.
I made the car. Just...
and just the lightsaber just falls on that little platform.
Absolutely.
And like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Or if he missed it.
Oh yeah, it just
Amazing.
falls into the Sarlacc.
I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of falling into the Sarlacc pit, should we talk
Yeah.
about Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
Boba's
very
falling in.
short-lived
The
career.
coolest character
Yeah.
gets walloped.
I always loved that Chewie told Han about Boba Fett being here.
Boba
as,
Fett?
as in
Boba
you
Fett.
need to know Boba's here.
Yeah.
like that's a big danger.
Yeah, that's true. That gives him a lot of gravitas.
And
doesn't
you
it?
see that straight away, Han, because Han reacts to it. Like
Yeah.
he is scared. Like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
He's like, we need
Where?"
to get the hell out of here.
And then, luck of the draw, knocks his jetpack
Yeah.
and off he flies.
Whilst blind.
But
Or he says he can see a lot better.
Yeah.
In fact, he can. He shoots the tentacle off Lando.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Lando. Lando is also there.
Yeah.
Lando is
Yeah.
redeeming himself.
Well, yeah,
left,
he's
right,
in
and centre.
disguise.
it's the thing, but
Yeah, he
you
is.
don't know yet that Lando has fully redeemed himself because
Oh no, you don't.
he's been silent. You see him with his little
Yeah.
hat and
Hey Lando, why'd you
bones.
pull your mask down like that? Oh no, don't worry about that.
his amazing disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's genius.
I go, Yolanda Calrissian. You're really famous. I mean,
Oh yeah, but what about now?
Yeah.
I lift my mask back up.
Wait a
Who
second.
is that?
Where's Lando?
Oh, it's that guard again. No, nothing to worry about.
But,
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
Ugh.
Boba Fett's legendary now, and
He is.
when he gets eaten by the Zarlak, I don't know if it's.
Zarlak.
I don't.
Zarlak, who's
Zarlak.
Oh, we're getting on this
I am
again.
the
I don't know if it's actual canon yet. I know it's an EU.
Yeah, so it was canon that he escaped, and then it was all of that was wiped.
Was that the Disney wipe?
The Disney wipe.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists anymore. But
Yeah.
if he suddenly appears in Mando or something like that, then it'll be like, oh, fine, yeah, okay, great.
I mean,
Um,
yeah. But stuff is starting to be canonized again.
Yes, it is.
So
Revan,
like
we think,
Re-
might be
Darth
stuff
Revan
like
has
that.
been.
Bane and all that
Yeah.
because they were in the
And
last film.
Plagueis is officially canon,
Is
which has come out this week.
Oh, well.
Even though he's mentioned in a Star Wars film.
Oh, okay.
So of course it's canon.
yeah, I thought that anyway.
Why is
Well, it's
it?
mentioned as a legend, though, isn't it? Even though we know it's Palpatine's master,
Yeah.
but it is mentioned as a legend, like when
I
he
mean,
tells
if,
it.
if
It's a story.
yeah, if it's mentioned in any film, it's
Well,
actually,
a canon of a sort. I've got a grape in my mouth. Sorry.
But yeah, and then
I'm
Boba goes
professional.
down,
so unprofessional.
and then we see Leia,
Ah.
which I always thought was a funny moment.
What?
Chokes Jabba.
Strangling, well, choking back onto a lot of
Oh,
choking.
amazing.
A lot of choking in this film.
There's a lot of choking in this
Just
film.
choking,
Loved it.
choking
Oh, yeah.
again, another Skywalker thing, choking.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you
I mean,
think
she doesn't
about,
do it with the Force, but
No, but she loves the choke.
it's
What do you
amazing.
think about Jabba's tongue?
Oh, in fairness, Jabba is a great creation. It cost like $500,000 to make that
Did it?
puppet, and it took like 6
There
people to
were so
operate
many
it.
people.
Was he life
so-
size? He must
Oh
have
yeah,
been.
it was literally there on the set with them.
Yeah.
It's not a miniature or anything like that.
There's loads of
'Cause,
people inside.
C.O. Bibbles stands next to him. You can tell it's
True,
actually him.
and Leia, of course, is
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she's there lying with him, isn't she?
Exactly, so,
but
yeah.
oh wow,
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, so they strangle him, and that is you remember Luca Brasi from The Godfather?
Yeah.
He gets strangled. It's Lucas's
nod
little
to
homage to that because
Yes.
he worked on The Godfather.
Of course
He's
he did,
always
yeah.
been obsessed with it.
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Like when you put that together, you're like, oh my god, yeah.
I mean, I did also
Horrible.
think, yeah, Leia can't do this. How the hell is she doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then
wow.
you do find that she is force
She's
sensitive,
force
so
sensitive.
maybe she
And people
didn't,
have hidden strength in these
Yeah.
situations. They always say, don't they? So
she didn't realise.
I never
but-
really questioned it at the time. It's one of those things.
No, I
Also,
didn't.
amazing moment. So, Luke is now on the top of the ship,
Yeah, he's swung
taking them
over.
all on, and he gets shot.
Yeah, in his hand.
Yeah. And still you're thinking, he's still not full potential then.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
this
it's
point.
true.
Because he's
Also,
literally
they
got
keep-
shot.
They keep going for his hands. It's not very nice.
Yeah, they've got a real thing about that.
Skywalker's hands.
But
It's
oh
always
my
a
God.
thing.
It's Luke's party. I think that's what I really like.
Mm.
For the first time, he is in well, not quite complete control because he does get
No.
shot, fine, but
But this
he's
is
running
his-
the show.
Yeah.
And I also love that he gives Jabba loads of chances.
Yeah.
He's like, don't underestimate my powers.
Yeah.
This is your final warning. This is your last chance. Free as will die.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's quite piratey things to
Yeah.
say, but he does give him the chance,
It-
you know?
It reminds me of kind of like if Qui-Gon Jinn was kind of in that situation, that's the kind of thing that he'd say.
Yeah.
Because he was always very upfront and forward and says it how it is.
But that's the other thing about Luke, I think, that you can really empathise with him in a very strong way.
Mm.
And it's actually similar to Harry Potter, because Harry, in his final duel with Voldemort, gives him a chance to repent.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I always think about the prequels, especially Revenge of the Sith. You struggle to empathise with Anakin in the same way that you do with Luke, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which is always tricky. I mean, you know how the story's going to end, so maybe it should have been that we needed to empathise with him so much more
Yeah.
because we had to be like, oh god, I hope this doesn't happen.
But then
You know what I
again,
mean?
Good guy
Obi-
trait is forgiveness, isn't it?
Obi-
So that's-
definitely.
Obi-Wan tries so much, he screams at him.
Yeah,
Screams
that's why
at
we love
Anakin.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Because he's desperate to save
But
him.
I think the moment that you know Anakin is fully gone is when he force chokes. A lot of choking.
Oh my God, a lot of
force
choking.
chokes Padme.
Yeah.
Anyway, Return of the
Yeah,
Jedi.
no, sorry, Return of
Yeah,
the Jedi. It's
so-
very hard to separate the two because they are
And
very closely
It
linked.
finishes with one of the best explosions.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
and
it
them
looks
zooming away.
It looks so
Yeah.
realistic,
so good.
and you see them going, and then you've got Luke's
So good.
famous X-wing and the
Yep.
famous Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
is just flying off
Zooming
together.
off, just the two of them.
And then
In tandem.
Luke takes a little detour.
What's he say? I gotta
It
keep.
says-
I got a promise to keep.
Yeah.
An old friend.
Yeah.
Not been back to see Yoda. No need.
Yeah.
Why would he? He only needs to
Really
train as a
will.
Jedi. Jedi Master's right there. Nah, just leave him. Probably be fine.
And then we go back to Yoda, and then
Yeah,
we have this sequence that goes on again. For me, it goes on for a bit too
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Just chatting, and also Yoda's talking,
What? Right.
but like
To be honest,
at the start,
he is
he's just walking around, just talking rubbish for ages. And
Why are you talking about? He's not talking rubbish.
I can't remember
Let's
what he
be
says
honest.
at the start.
He's on his deathbed.
Yeah,
For a
Yoda is
start.
on the way out.
He's
Oh,
a geriatric
right.
Jedi.
He's Jerry Allison Jedi.
How old
the
is
new
he?
title,
He's over
Jerry.
900.
We're
Yeah.
900 years old. You reach. Look as good you will not. That's how I feel about you and me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so right, I think the thing you have to remember about this sequence, and I'm going to defend it, is that we're in 1983 when this film comes
Yeah.
out. Home videos aren't a thing, right?
Yeah.
They're not watching these films again.
Sure.
And what we've had in the previous film is the revelation that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
Yeah.
So what they were thinking was, and Lucas has said this himself, he didn't think that children would believe it unless someone else said it.
Right.
And he wanted Yoda to say it because he was like, Yoda's the most trustworthy person, because Obi-Wan obviously has lied at this point, and we know
Yeah.
that, well, he's either lied or he's lied about something, or Vader's lying. People
Right.
would assume that Vader was lying unless
It's
someone said
from
it.
a certain point of view.
It's an
Which is a
amazing
little chat we
sequence.
have in a bit.
Yeah. But so it's that, I think. So it doesn't really stand up to rewatching, but they weren't really thinking about
Yeah,
that.
I didn't even
You
think
know what I
about
mean?
that.
true.
I didn't think about the
That's
know.
very-
Isn't it? It's a funny thought though, isn't it?
In fact, I imagine when they hear Darth Vader says that for the first time, after the film, people could be walking out going, "Okay, is that a ploy?
I bet a lot of
Is
people
that
would be
a-
thinking that.
Is that a trick? What's he trying to do here? How's he
Because
trying
after all, that's not true.
That's it. That's all.
He takes it really well.
We need
Yeah.
that at least once.
But yeah, and then Yoda does confirm it,
He does.
and
The
then
bloody heat.
he has this little moment where he'll say a couple of lines. You think he's gonna die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say a couple of lines. You think he's gonna die, and then he does that. There is another Skywalker.
Sounds like
Why is he
Palpatine. Yeah, isn't it great that he leaves the most crucial little reveal to the end?
Yeah.
Why did you say that first?
As soon
Should've
as
said,
I,
"Hi,
as
Luke."
soon as I
Should've
walked
said
through your mini door, you
Unbelievable.
should have told me straight away
Yeah.
that I've got a bloody sibling.
Yeah, I've hit my head already. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable.
God damn, I've
He
lost
wasn't
a hand.
Thank God Obi-Wan turns up, or he'd just be like, there's another Skywalker.
Well, that's the thing.
Don't know.
I always thought that the Obi-Wan chat is more informative.
Oh,
because
definitely.
You understand, excuse the phrase, but you understand Obi-Wan's point of view of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting rewatching it, having seen the prequels. Obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it completely changed it. And for a long time, even with Obi-Wan, in my head he was Ben, and then when the prequels came around, it was weird that he was Obi-Wan. Now it's the opposite way around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Luke calls him Obi-Wan in this film. Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
That's such a flabbergasted like
Rather than
delivery of that
Ben!
line. Yeah, that line always bugs me.
Is that the first time he says Obi-Wan?
He calls him Obi-Wan, but this is like the first time of this film.
When does he switch to from?
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I don't know if he does because he screams Ben, doesn't he?
Well, he says
screams
Ben a lot
Ben in A
more.
New Hope.
He definitely thinks of him as Ben,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason now.
But yeah, I always thought Obi-Wan just has a lot more. He says, from a certain point of view, that
Yeah.
Darth Vader corrupted your father
Darth Vader, yeah.
and stuff.
You told me Vader betrayed and murdered my father. Yeah, you'll find that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on your own point of view.
But I understand
Tricky.
why he's saying that because if he told Luke that straight away, he would have had a completely different
Yeah.
training. It would have gone completely different.
And Yoda says, "Not ready for the burden, were you?"
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
interesting, but it's a really difficult thing, and I'm going to compare it to Harry Potter again.
Yeah.
Because Dumbledore obviously rarely tells Harry anything.
Yeah.
And even when he says, "I'm going to tell you everything," in the 5th book, he hasn't told him. He hasn't told him about the Horcruxes.
Right.
He hasn't told him he's a Horcrux.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of thing. It's like,
It's
where's the moral viewpoint on this?
It's the keeping it from you to save you kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so clever. That's why in Harry Potter, Snape is never ever referred to as
As a
trying to save
hero.
Harry at any
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or anything
It's
like that.
dressed up completely differently.
He's
Always
always
the bad
looked at,
guy.
but
Yeah.
he's doing it for a certain reason.
Yeah.
He's doing it to honour Harry's mom.
Yeah. Which you couldn't. I mean, people did guess at, but you never have known.
But you don't find out until the final
That's another recurring theme, isn't
The
it?
final film.
The guy that everyone thinks is the bad guy having that redemption at the end. Similar.
Well, that's why this is
Yeah.
such a. I always say these 6 films are Anakin's story.
Oh, absolutely. And George Lucas said it.
Yeah, you think in these 3 you always think it's Luke's until this film,
Yeah.
and then you realise because that gets on later on. There is a fight and a struggle between them.
Oh, yeah.
But on this point, after Obi-Wan says it, and he says, he almost slightly gives up because Luke just goes, "I can't do it."
Yeah, the Emperor has already
You
won.
won.
Yeah.
You are our only hope.
Yeah.
Yoda mentioned another. The other he spoke of is your twin sister. Well, why haven't you mentioned this before? Unbelievable!
Up with that.
And then he tells the story of them being separated before they were born. Before they were born? After they were born.
All of
and hidden
these
from Vader.
bombshells that he's throwing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is the space of 5
Luke
minutes.
takes it so well. Remember what Harry did? He flipped out, he smashed up Dumbledore's office, he went mentor.
Oh, Harry
Luke takes
wasn't
it really
cool
well.
with it.
Childish.
No.
Childish.
But yeah, and then
It's amazing.
Luke leaves, and you don't
Yeah.
really know what Luke is planning to do.
Well, Luke thinks that he can redeem Vader still.
Yeah,
He knows there's good in
Yeah.
him. It's such a tricky thing. And again, this hadn't been done. This is a new thing in films. Like, the villain was the villain, really.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't think of any other
Never
examples.
been a redeeming. I mean, it's like Bond would never go to Blofeld.
Yeah.
Right, let's try and sort this out. Maybe I can stop.
Yeah, going up to Jaws like, I can change you.
Yeah.
Jaws?
Eat-
Alright, I think
I was
I
gonna
thought you were
say.
talking about the shark.
Right.
Yeah, you're right though.
If we're talking about
You never
Bond,
see- you never seen
and
any
someone
of that.
says Jaws,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
think of the shark.
I thought he was giving an example. You were
Michael
giving an
Caine
example.
never goes up to Jaws, does he? In the third one, and go, "Oi, oi, let's try and sort this out."
Hey,
He took the
why
check
you-
and he ran for it.
Why are you so angry?
What's got you all miffed?
all this?
Are you hungry?
But yeah,
Have a sandwich.
Luke leaves in this, but yeah. So you still don't really know how the hell Luke is gonna.
No.
Like you said, you never see
You've got a lot
the
of
good guy
questions.
trying to redeem
Oh,
the
it's
villain,
amazing.
and a villain like Darth Vader.
The greatest villain of all of them.
I mean, straight away you think, "Oh, well, that's just impossible."
Yeah. He's gonna. You
I
think
think
he's
the
gonna die.
reason as well for them keeping it from him and only telling him now is that they possibly knew that he might have wanted to redeem him, and in doing so before he was ready, he might have just slipped to the dark side and joined him. Because
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
finds out he's his father,
Oh, I think that's.
he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
gonna follow my father.
I think this film is about everything being open
Yeah.
and every card on the table.
Yeah.
And just going, right, okay, it's this or this.
Yeah.
There isn't a middle ground.
And it's constantly Luke
Yeah.
flitting between the two. Constantly.
So where are we now in the film?
So we're.
So.
have we just got past Jabba's palace?
No, so Dagobah is done.
We've left
Of course,
Dagobah,
yeah.
and we're now at the
The Rebel Fleet.
The Rebel
Yeah.
Fleet.
Yeah.
And
So the Death Star has been remade, or it's a new Death Star. It's like it's 4 times the size of the last one. They've knocked it
but
out in like 3
it
years.
isn't
Maybe.
called the Death Star in this film. It's called. What's it called?
Oh, I think of it as the Death Star 2.
But it's never called. It's called the space station. Or
I didn't
something
know, Battle
like that.
Station or something.
But yeah.
The Emperor's New Battle Station.
How do you-
something
Yeah,
like
that's it. The
How do
Emperor's
you
New
construct
Battle
something
Station.
like that in space?
Well, I suppose it's the easiest way to do it. There's no resistance.
I mean, you can't have a
Kept to
go at
lift
that
anything.
and then see half of the stuff that's happened in these films and go.
Yeah, that's the thing you've
Hang
got
on,
an issue with.
How do they do that?
I didn't have a problem
How
with
do
the
they
little
do?
green guy. I thought it
We've
was fine.
seen loads
It
of.
was great.
We've seen loads of like. You never mentioned that about the first Death Star,
Yeah.
No,
they
I
did
but
that.
wanted
this
to
one.
mention it.
But this one, you're like, hang on.
Yeah.
Well,
this
how
is
they
too
make it
much.
in it?
now.
It sprung to mind when you said rebuilt in 3 years, amazingly.
Yeah.
I was like,
But they know how to build it now.
Yeah, they've already got the
Very
plans.
efficient,
They've got.
yeah.
They know where they
I'm
went
just
wrong.
But
picturing in
also,
your mind
it's-
them
it's
building
still
this
not
thing in
finished.
space lane.
And it's not finished.
It's not finished. It's
It's
hard.
more finished than they think, but it's not
And I
finished.
Yeah.
thought, did they start it on a planet and then
They've done like bits and pieces of it and then
Yeah.
taken them up.
taking them up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it
That's
in,
how they built
in
the
Rogue One.
International
Not-
Space Station.
in
that
Rogue One, you
Death
see
Star.
them. You see them pushing
The
in the
International
shields.
Space Station
Yeah.
is nowhere near the size
It's
of
exactly
the
the
Death Star.
same thing. It's just on a bigger scale.
it's- I mean, it's
they
not-
did bits of it. They took it up. They attached it in space.
So we're at the Rebel Fleet.
Anyway, yeah, we can't talk about this. It's
Many
ridiculous.
Bothans died.
Mary
to
Poppins.
give
Mon
us
Mothma.
Mary Poppins died to give us this information.
Wow, she was a powerful Jedi as well.
What a twist!
She could fly.
Wow.
Mary Poppins. Who's Mary Poppins? Does she mean Bothans? No. Mary Poppins.
She was
As
my
your
nanny.
It's the first female Jedi ever mentioned.
Yeah,
there
Mary
you
Poppins.
go.
Who'd have thought?
Well, we always wondered how she
Oh,
had all
yeah.
those bloody powers.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
didn't really use them
Eh?
though. Went into babysitting. It was very odd.
Look,
Well, she's a
everyone
cat.
needs to earn a crust.
Exactly. Exactly.
Crust.
Yeah.
Bit of pie.
But
Anyway, Mon Mothma is who we've just
so
met.
yeah, we meet Mon Mothma, who
You did not say that at first.
no, I didn't say Mon Mothma.
But I didn't say that, definitely.
I said many Bothans died.
That's what she says.
She says that line, and you
Oh,
jumped
right,
on
you didn't
Mary
literally didn't even hear what he said.
No, I
knew it
genuinely
was.
thought you said Mary Poppins. Where did that come from?
Ridiculous.
Just randomly me. I was just talking about Star Wars, and then I just suddenly say,
Oh,
Mary Poppins died.
A classic Jinx.
In other
aside.
Oh my god!
Anyway.
But, interesting enough, both actresses that have played Mary Poppins both still alive. So there we go.
Okay.
Not relevant. Let's
No,
go.
they'll live to
Talking
900.
about
man.
her dying. Anyway, yeah, we're
Mon
on.
Mothma, the
we're on-
leader of the rebels.
Yeah,
Interesting in itself.
she's cool.
She's very cool.
A female that's in charge.
Amazing. We're in the 80s, the early 80s. This
Yeah.
is really good stuff.
And she's got a rad haircut.
Yeah. In fact, her whole aura and everything about her, I'm just like, yep. I
So,
trust you.
to be fair, the people that are in charge of the rebellion
Yeah.
are
Leia.
Mon Mothma,
Yeah.
Leia, and Calamari.
The Mon Calamari, the delicious amaranth bar. Yeah. A little bit of oil, lovely.
Yeah.
That's offensive.
Okay.
All calamaris out
But
there.
yeah,
Anyway,
and we meet Admiral Akbar as
we
well.
do, we do.
The legend.
He is a legend.
That is Admiral
Poorly served
Akbar.
in the sequel. The sequels.
Gone down in
I-
history as probably one of the most famous characters.
Just for one line.
Yeah.
One line.
Yeah.
For one line, which we'll get to.
But,
But, so, we're talking about the Death Star, the second
Yeah.
Death Star, right?
Second Death Star.
so talking about the second Death
Bit
Star,
by bit.
and they're pretty much not going to do exactly the same thing.
No.
They're going
Well, it's not finished, so it's better.
No.
Easier
So
to
they're
tell.
going to fly inside
Yeah.
and
Destroy the reactor.
destroy the reactor.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we're not there yet, but that's an
Oh,
incredible
God.
scene. and
Unbelievable.
the-
Unbelievable
The
sequence.
effects that are used on that moment are just
Oh.
brilliant. But
It's
yeah,
amazing, it all stands up so well.
so
but it really
they're going to
does.
try and do that, but also
Yeah.
at the same time, General Solo
Yeah.
is going to take a
strike team.
a strike team
Yeah.
down to the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, well, so there's no deflector shield on the space station, so they have to do it from the planet.
Yeah.
So they have to take that down, otherwise the ships can't get there. They'll just skip off it and be
Yeah.
destroyed. You know.
So,
It's like Rogue One.
Anyway.
Yeah, so like,
That was crushing.
yeah. So
You two are
The-
a bunch
there
of
are-
idiots.
the-
Well, they found out the Emperor's on board as well.
Yeah, well,
Unbelievable.
that's-
It's like
Unbelievable.
Rogue One!
Okay.
oh my god. So yeah, I mean that's why they're pushing this plan.
Yeah,
That's why it
they've
has
got
to be
to do
done
it.
now.
Absolutely.
So we've got two plans. One. You're alright.
He's so angry.
He's really hurt by
I'm
that.
livid.
So General Solo is going to take down a strike team to take out the.
Is he?
Yeah.
He is. They've stolen a shuttle.
Yes.
An Imperial shuttle,
Yeah.
so they can get inside the
Nice.
planet. He's so angry. It's
So
wonderful.
off they go.
Yeah, Luke comes back, of course.
Luke comes back and I'm in too.
Oh, yeah.
Are you right, Luke? Okay.
What does Leia say?
Oh yeah.
What is it? Ask me again sometime.
What?
Yeah?
I'll ask you now then.
Should we talk about
Now?
Darth Vader? And I understand. He doesn't want to talk about it in front of the Rebel
Yeah.
Alliance, like everyone there, and be like, "Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, Darth Vader's my dad."
But then,
Ooh.
so they leave, and that Hannah's that lovely little moment where he looks at the Falcon. Just got a funny feeling I'm not going to see her again.
Yeah, amazing.
Which is
Gives it to Lando.
yeah, you feel that that's a lot of pain, and yeah, Lando takes the Falcon.
Lando's a general as well.
Also, thing we never mentioned in Empire Strikes Back.
What's that?
Why does Lando dress in Han's clothes?
Oh my god! At the end of The Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah.
he's dressed in Han's. I can assume that it's because he's not taking anything from the Cloud City.
Yeah.
The Falcon is full
Falcon's got loads of the same outfit.
But
They're
all,
about the same size.
all I wanted was Chewie just to do a slow glance to the left and go,
What is it?
"What are you doing?"
But you know that Billy D. Williams went up for Han Solo?
yeah.
He was in the
Really?
casting, and George Lucas really considered him,
Yeah.
but thought that it would be too controversial and too much of an issue for a black guy to be with a white princess. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
But then
Signs
George
of
just
times,
went, you know what? Stuff it.
Stuff that. I'm
Yeah.
a revolutionary.
Let's lob Lando in, and Lando is one of the coolest
Oh my
characters,
God.
Yes.
if not the coolest.
It probably
character.
is. It's him and Han.
in Star Wars.
100%.
Yeah, they're
Absolutely.
both, and you can
He is
tell them.
the gunslinger of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
The classic kind of cool.
but also smarmy kind of.
Yeah.
just love him.
He knows what he's
Ladies'
doing.
man. So
And also a great pilot.
they leave on the shuttle, and
Yeah.
the fleet.
The fleet's going to come in.
Oh no, the fleet stays there at the moment.
because they jump in
leave
from
first.
hyperspace.
And then they come into hyperspace, and you see.
Heist for space.
Space.
Look, come on, it's been a long
Sorry.
day.
Yeah.
And we see the new battle station.
Yeah,
Battleship.
Emperor's on board. It's always fun that.
But Darth Vader's Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah, the Executor.
Is there, and they have to. It's an older code, sir, but it works out.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
checks
yeah.
out. That's the one.
It checks out. I was about to clear them.
And Vader knows.
Mm.
You can. There's no lines, but Vader knows Luke is on that.
There's an awful
chest.
lot of that. Of Vader expressing an awful lot of things by with no lines at all.
Yeah,
And his
it's
helmet seems to change sort of shape and expression because of where the angles are and stuff like that. It's
Isn't
very
it amazing
cleverly
that
done.
we know what his expression is and how he's feeling when there is
That's just
a
it.
helmet?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but it's such an expressive bit of kit, I suppose,
Yeah.
that if you point it in a certain direction, it looks a certain
Yeah,
way.
that's true.
Yeah.
So interesting, though. Really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Vader doesn't know, and Luke says.
Well, he does know. Vader does know.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Luke says, "I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come." He says it like that. He knows as well. Obviously, Vader knows that he's there.
But if Luke wasn't there, they probably could have done it.
He got away with it.
Yeah,
definitely.
And then they land on Endor.
They get through.
Yeah.
They manage to get through it, all sorts out. They have a little walk, and then they see these two little.
Yeah.
Which is a new design.
The scout trooper.
A scout trooper,
Yeah.
which I think is a very funky design.
Funky design. Dreadful stormtroopers though.
Oh yeah.
Really bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really bad.
But they
Steal the
steps
speeders.
on a twig.
Yeah.
Gives it away.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And one of them
Woods.
goes off to alert them.
Yeah.
Alert the rest of them.
I love the little speeder chase.
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
think it's grand.
Amazing.
Very quick.
Very quick.
It feels so fast.
It's
Like
amazing.
those speeders. I don't know how they did it.
I'll tell you exactly how they did it.
How?
Yeah, thanks for that. They had really high def cameras running a really fast frame rate, taking loads and loads of frames per second. They walked through the forest and then they sped it up.
That's amazing.
That's literally how they did it, and it looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another little trick of the
So
trade that they
effective.
did.
And then
It's just
Leia.
innovation, you know.
Leia is lost.
Yeah. So Luke uses lightsaber again. Awesome.
Epic moment. Love that.
Yeah.
So
love
cool.
that.
He whips it out and
Cuts off.
okay, easy.
What do you mean by that? Chris?
He takes out his lightsaber
Right.
and he cuts off the steering
It's what-
frame,
Oh right. Okay. So.
Yeah.
and the guy explodes. He goes straight into a tree.
But he does a little.
like man.
He does a little scoop.
Yeah.
Actually,
wouldn't
is
you?
that the famous scream that we?
Oh, the Wilhelm scream.
That's not. No, that's not.
No, it was in Jabba's palace, wasn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause it's in every
Yeah.
film, isn't it?
When someone falls in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is
yeah,
that
Leia's lost.
royalty free. Do you reckon?
I think it's just a
I think every filmmaker does it in just a kind of.
yeah. They always do it in style,
Yeah.
and they do it in India as well, don't they?
Yeah.
But everyone likes to use it because it's just a thing they do. But yeah, Leia is lost.
Yeah.
And Leia gets woken up by Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis,
Warwick cameo.
our man, the
Yeah.
legend,
Amazing.
Warwick Davis, pretty much the face of Star Wars now, is in charge of, well, not in charge, but is always at Star Wars Celebration,
Yeah.
introducing
Great.
everyone.
Great man.
He is
Yeah.
the coolest.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a dude, and he was in Harry Potter as well. He was
Yeah.
Flitwick.
He
Amazing.
played 4 characters in Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
yeah, he did. Yeah, he played a
He played
goblin
Flitwick.
as well, and all sorts of
And
characters. didn't he?
the conductor.
I think
Oh,
that was
did
Flitwick, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, might have been. Who's the one in Philosophers with the big grey beard?
Oh no, they changed the design.
Dumbledore.
That's what.
Yeah, that
That's
is.
the one.
Double door.
Professor Dumbledore.
2 goblins as well.
Yeah, two
So-
goblins.
Yeah. One's
That- he's a
actor.
very useful man to have around.
That's my favourite line from Harry Potter. Professor Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
Anyway, but yeah.
She gets poked away by Wicket the Ewok.
Yeah.
Now, what are your feelings about the Ewoks? Tell me.
Well, they're never actually called Ewoks. in
No,
the
they're
film.
not. They're never named. None of them are named.
Only in the credits have
Well.
they ever said as Ewok. But I mean, it was George Lucas realising that he could sell a ton of toys.
I
Yeah,
don't think that
I mean-
Because it was what company was it? Was it 20th Century Fox that said that? Because he said, "Look, you're taking a massive chunk
Oh, yeah.
of everything I do. I'll keep."
The merchandising.
The
you take-
merchandising.
Yeah, like no direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
have
wasn't
nothing
a
against
deal.
the Ewoks at all. I think it's awesome to create something that's different, that is a native species to a different planet that isn't a human. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's clever.
It is cool.
I
that they're
don't
so
know-
primitive is really cool.
I know that everyone thinks it's a gimmick as soon as you see something like that is
Yeah.
that can be easily sold as merchandise
Yeah.
and things like that. But I just don't think it was, and I think
Yeah.
the same with Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gimmicky at all.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just they serve their purpose really well. I think that's the
it
thing.
serves a purpose.
It's
And
slightly different in the sequels with like the porgs and all that.
Porgs are just
you
pointless.
really need to
But
be
yeah,
there.
Porgs are they're not doing anything.
No.
Ewoks actually have a whole backstory.
Absolutely.
And they have the whole culture.
Major part of the film.
And it's a language as well.
Yeah, yeah.
We then meet the Ewoks. Han
Yeah.
and Luke are trying to search for them. They get caught in that trap, and then
Oh yeah.
they,
Chewie gets hungry, doesn't he?
yeah,
There is a sweet moment when Leia first meets the Ewok, and
it's
she
lovely.
speaks to him, and kind of obviously they don't speak the same language, so she tries to be on his level with offering him a piece of chocolate,
Yeah, it's whatever she's got, some sort
I thought it
of
was
energy
coconut.
bar or something.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's some
like
sort of
that.
food that they keep
And
on
now
them.
I love that Leia has that kind of power to just be friends with everyone,
Yeah.
anyone, just it's random.
Absolutely, and he adores her, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting. It reminds
Yeah,
me of my
I
son in a lot of ways. I have a son, by the way.
What the Ewoks are like?
Honestly, because
Really?
he's really my son isn't aggressive, but Wicket is like he's got his spear out and he's like, I'm very wary.
Has your son got a spear?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was first birthday present. Seemed like a good idea, but as soon as she gives him
Always get your
food,
child a spear.
as soon as she gives him food, he's like, "Yep, great,
Yeah.
fine." My son is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Give him some food, and he's like,
To
"Great."
be honest, Chris, you're like that as well.
Yeah, in fairness, I am like that.
Give you a bit of food.
It's in the genes, you see.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I thought they were new.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then they're taken on wooden poles,
Yeah.
and then we see Leia come out looking braided.
She looks unbelievable.
Looking
Where did that little
beautiful.
costume come from?
And they're going, what the?
Yeah, where have you come from?
You're Kushti. We're about to be
Yeah.
cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And they won't let up. Like Leia tries to stop them and they won't let up.
Again, that shows a totally different side of the Ewok. Again,
Yeah.
this barbaric side of cooking humans alive and eating them, and then there's another human over there who they adore and
but
worship.
they've probably hardly or never seen a
Oh, yeah.
humanoid.
But just
because
the animals to
It's
them.
the stormtroopers. They see stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They see them dressed up.
yeah, but they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
yeah.
and then all that kind of kicks off. They think that C-3PO is a god.
Yeah, that's it. That C3PO
And then
is the one that saves them.
Luke does that. I always love that bit. So Luke lifts him, and they all go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very dodgy though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's abusing his powers to subdue like a native
Oh, yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
essentially.
Oh, completely.
And the way that he says that line, tell them if they don't obey your orders, you'll grow angry and use your magic.
Yeah.
He says it like he is going to kill someone.
Yeah.
Do you know
That's
what I mean?
more dark side showing, but
It is very dark side.
What's hilarious about this whole scene again is 3PO trying to communicate. Since
Yeah.
I know their language, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Communicating with the Ewok, says the complete wrong things, and
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
nearly gets him killed. He tells them to go ahead and cook
Whatever it,
it
yeah,
is.
oh yeah, absolutely. And he says that or Han says, impersonate the god and get us out of this.
Yeah.
And C-3PO's like, it's against my programming to impersonate the deity.
Now,
Ditches that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers,
But
Rise of Skywalker.
In the past, has 3PO got many things wrong? Because this seems to
I
be...
mean, he's not the wisest character, is he?
No, but he has a lot programmed into him when it comes to languages as well. He's meant to know
When you
quite a
think
bit.
about him, though, C-3PO's been through a lot,
Yeah.
and there's a
He
lot.
has been blown up, to be
And-
fair.
but he's had his mind wiped as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of it. Oh, you're right.
Sorry about that.
That
So
was
it's mine white.
That was native Ewok, that was.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of
But
the language.
yeah, it's.
Through ugly.
He's an interesting character anyway. He gets his mind wiped again in the
Does.
sequels.
Taking one last look at
My friends.
That lasted a long time, didn't it?
You hadn't known them for that
Barely.
long. Let's be honest. Like,
And you'll probably be back about 20 minutes, I wouldn't worry.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
I think he had
anyway.
something in those little eyes that was just showing
Those
a
little
photo
eyes.
of
probably.
Luke and Leia.
Yeah. Those
yeah.
are my real friends. Not you guys. I haven't really hung out with you that
Yeah.
much.
But I am.
I don't have many lines. in
Other
this.
than this moment, actually. This
Yeah.
film I've hung out with you a bit.
Yeah.
Weird that.
Other films, no. But I suppose they need to push my character. But,
Return of the Jedi, for God's
But
sake.
yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
They, I mean, this all happens. Pretty much, we then it goes on and on and on.
I hate this film.
He's selling it.
No,
Absolutely.
but the Ewok bit again.
Did you work for the
It does
Voice
go on for a while.
It does go on for ages. The
It's
main,
funny that he recounts the story of the films up to this point to them. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
just in case any of the audience go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the main big plot bit that comes next is Luke telling Leia.
Yeah, right before he goes off because he has to
Yeah.
face Vader. Yeah, absolutely. Before they attack the shield,
And,
the shield generator.
It did make sense to me that they were brother and sister.
It did, except for the line. I've always known.
Yeah.
Get rid of that line.
And
I'm
then-
like, okay, actually,
yeah.
yeah, fine. You
Completely
didn't know.
get rid of that, and it is.
She feels it in that moment. That makes sense.
Yeah, it is perfection, but
Weird.
Yeah,
A weird one.
did make up, but then Luke leaves.
Yeah.
And Han comes in, and
Yeah.
she won't tell him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. He's
Could
not-
you tell, Luke? Is that who you could tell?
Whoa, hang on, God.
Whoa, easy. And then she
Yeah,
says,
lovely
"What would make
Yeah,
hold me like you did that day on the boo.
Right.
Oh no, wait, no.
Oh.
It's a bit like that. When she says it, it's fine. When
Yeah.
Padme says it, it's a bit like, what on
What?
earth is happening here?
But yeah, that Luke then
Big reveal.
leaves to be captured.
Yep.
Yeah.
Knows what he has to do.
Amazing.
And there's that fantastic scene between Vader and Luke in that little sky bridge or whatever.
Yeah, well, they're about to go on
elevator.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're about to go on the shuttle, aren't
And
they?
they have
Standing together. It's bizarre to see, isn't it?
And-
to see Vader and Luke just standing together like that.
Oh, well, that's
First-
when they get on the Death Star, that's what you're thinking
Oh,
of.
sorry, am I?
We're talking about when
It's-
he's captured and they're about to go on the and they meet for the first time.
Oh, sure,
and
sure,
He's
sure,
talking
yeah,
about his
I'm jumping
lightsaber.
way.
But Vader says that line, "It's too late for me."
Ah,
Well, that's when
Amazing.
you kind of know there is a full-blown character here.
yeah.
Okay, something's
Completely
really
different.
kicking.
In that scene particularly, he's completely different.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Which I think encourages Luke even more, even though he says, "Well then."
My father truly is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think he knows that this is the first time they've had a chat,
Mm. Yeah.
and that there is Anakin in there.
Yeah. Well, what's he say? So you've accepted the truth. I've accepted the truth of you once, Anakin Skywalker, my father. That name no longer has any meaning to me.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and it does so very nearly work. Like all of the retconning that Lucas did to make him his son, the father,
Yeah.
and all that. And it's like, yeah, no, that. It's so interesting that you're like, yeah, fine, I do buy it.
Yeah.
So interesting, and you're right. It's when he turns away. He turns away. You can't even look
Yeah.
at him. It's too late for me, son. Ugh.
And then you're
Amazing.
like, okay, there is a conflict here.
Yeah.
And the
Whatever's
Vader-
because we're coming up to the last act.
We are.
This is when it all kicks off.
I
It's
kind of
interesting-
saw
go
Vader
on.
questioning the dark side at that point and his path
Yeah.
in general. Cause
I don't think he questions the dark side. I think he just questions whether, if he has to, he'll have to kill his son.
Yeah. He's, yeah.
I think he's still
That's more
fully
compelling.
enveloped in the dark side.
Yeah.
Because he's still taking him to the Emperor and stuff like that.
Oh
He's
yeah,
still-
but he hasn't just called him to the Death Star. He's gone down and met him before they go to
Yeah.
the Emperor, which I think is really interesting.
That's true,
Because
yeah.
he could easily have just been like, "Bring him to me," but
Yeah.
he's gone down to get him and
He,
talk
he
with
may
him
have
before.
wanted to make sure though, because the amount of times.
Oh yeah, I
that
suppose.
went
Yeah,
away.
he wants to take care of it himself.
Yeah.
But he also says, do you remember this when they're talking to the Emperor? We haven't really talked about the Emperor. He says he wants to pursue Skywalker, and he says he could sense him, and the Emperor says, "Strange that I have not.
Yeah.
Are your
that's
feelings
true.
on this clear, Lord Vader?" And he says they're clear, but obviously they're not. He's feeling things that the Emperor can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
That-
really
that's a
interesting.
good little hint actually.
Different connection between the two of
family
them.
connection.
But
Not
then-
just the Force,
Then we
something
come up,
else.
We come up to the pretty much the final act.
Yeah.
This is where.
Should we talk about the shield generator first before
Well,
we get onto
it's
the
all,
Death
it's
Star?
all going on at the same
Well,
time.
it is,
isn't
yeah.
Because as soon as Luke goes up there,
Yeah.
then the fleet decide to then go into hyperspace.
Well, once they think that the shield generator is
Yeah.
about to be taken
so
down.
they go into hyperspace. Han and just the normal guys go there first, and they've got a couple of Ewoks, and then
So yeah, they get inside the base
yeah,
the first time around.
and there has been a trap that has been set.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're captured, pretty much. That's it. They're captured, and at this point as well is when the fleet comes out
Mm.
and they start going on their attack run,
Yeah.
and they then realise what's
Yeah.
the line?
I wasn't actually listening. I don't know where we are.
Unbelievable stuff.
Admiral Akbar screams something.
Wow, that was really bad.
Lovely.
I'm really surprised.
That was great.
I thought you'd really get
And
that.
then the
I
fleet,
did.
the fleet turns round and sees that there's an entire fleet of
An
Star
Imperial fleet.
Destroyers there,
Unbelievable.
and that they know they have to go head on with them, even if they want to
Head
try
on.
and escape.
Yeah.
So you've got this massive battle now going on.
Yeah.
Han, Leia, everyone have been taken outside as hostages.
Yeah.
Then suddenly, hello, hey,
Who's that?
what? C-3PO,
There's 3PO.
Oh, yeah.
It's not bad.
and brings him over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a massive trap set by the Ewoks.
Another trap.
And then it all kicks off. And pretty much we have these two battles going on, which aren't at this point storytelling moments. The only storytelling moment really is that the Emperor, Vader, and Luke.
Well, this is what's going on in the background, of
Yeah.
course, because the Emperor reveals that he knows all of this. He knows the rebel plan, essentially.
knows
And
the
he's
plan.
set his own trap.
Exactly.
He's allowed it all to happen.
He knows what's
Which is
happening.
remarkable. Yeah, it's
And-
trap after trap after trap.
And they
That's choking as well.
Oh yeah,
and the rebel fleet is getting absolutely massacred. They're
Yeah.
getting destroyed.
absolutely.
And then your friends are getting into the
Yeah.
trap.
And Luke has obviously met the Emperor at this point. The
Yeah.
Emperor is desperate to take Luke, as he did Anakin, and corrupt him. And he tries pretty much the same tactics, pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he's got his lightsaber just sat there.
Yeah.
And he just
Yeah. I can feel your anger.
struck me down.
Oh, yeah. It's quite an amazing thing to see him running this parallel. Also to have Anakin in the room with him.
Yeah.
What's
It's
bizarre
always
is that he wants to take him on, but he's very conscious of the fact of the rule of two, right?
Yeah, well, what's
he
Vader thinking?
He knows that Vader has to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Vader's an old man,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Because
He's in his late 50s.
That's why. That's why.
Vader's an old man. Look at the
Yeah, oh, well, I know, but he wants to live forever. So
But he
shit on
knows.
him.
He knows that as soon as Luke picks up that lightsaber and goes for the Emperor, he knows how
fine.
loyal Vader is.
Mm.
He will stop him,
Yeah.
and he knows that either one of them has to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whoever emerges will be.
And preferably, he wants Vader to die so that
Yeah.
Luke.
Fresh
can-
blood.
Luke's the more
And then-
powerful the.
And then we have that cross swords
Oh,
moment.
what a shot with
That
the Emperor
lovely
in the
shot
background.
With just, Emperor sitting, and then you hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
His little grin.
Him
His
cackling away.
And then
His teeth, unbelievable.
it jumps back. We've got
Yeah.
the fleet that are getting absolutely destroyed.
The
Lando's
Ewoks are suddenly getting involved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
exciting. I mean, it's amazing that they are able to fight in the way that they are.
Yeah.
They
And then
use
that-
the
their
planet
weapons are
against
brilliant.
them.
That
The
Ewok-
logs that smash
that
the
Ewok
ATST.
moment, the death.
The
scene.
Ewok moment, the death. It gets blasted by an ATST's cannon, and its little mate is still alive and finds it. Oh my god.
It's so
There's
sad.
stuff like that, you know.
And
Yeah.
Anytime I watch it now,
You
Ben, I'll
well
tell,
up.
I'll tell you this honestly.
Oh.
I well up.
You well up.
Yeah, no, it is tearful
I
stuff.
pull well up.
It
I
really
like
is.
that. Thank you. We mentioned
But
that last time.
yeah, and then eventually, after a long little chain of just showing all the Ewoks little tricks, throwing the logs on the ground, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it falls over and all this kind of stuff. Chewie
Mm.
does
Lifts
the
out a. Yeah. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? With an Ewok on his back, isn't he?
and
Laying.
Leia
I tell you, that was Warwick, isn't it?
Mm.
Leia and Hannah
It's
trying
always
to
Warwick.
hog wire into the base.
Yeah, she gets shot in the arm. Horrible.
And then
Hog-wire?
there's the opposite.
Hog wire. I don't know what that is.
Wiring.
and then there's the
He's from
opposite line
Birmingham.
where Han says, "I love you."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I know.
Great.
He's just
Now,
like,
as you mentioned,
great.
Lovely.
you said last episode that was impromptu.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not improv, but it was decided on the set. That's what he'd say
Yeah.
instead of "I love you too."
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't just like.
Yeah, it wasn't just an improvised line. It was a conversation that they had between him and the director.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, okay, right. So, as I'm sure AJ would say,
You
know where the story is, because we know what's going on the planet, right?
Yeah,
the deflector shield is going
The
slowly
deflector
but
shield.
surely.
I mean, but pretty much though, they destroy the deflector shield.
Eventually,
it's
they
all.
do. It's a great explosion as well.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's very much a side plot just for Han and Leia to go through some turmoil together.
Yeah.
The main storyline that's happening here
It's on the Death Star.
is between Vader, the Emperor, and Luke.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Emperor, to be fair, wants Luke. Vader, they've started this fight, they've crossed that sword, they're going at each other, the score
The score's unbelievable.
is screaming.
It's a completely different fight, obviously, because Luke is so much leveled up from where he was before.
But what's an interesting thought, what do you think Vader's thinking at this
oh,
point?
I always think this now. I never used to think it.
Do you think he's thinking, I'm fighting for my life here?
Not at this point.
No.
Not until Luke goes mad when he talks about his sister, and then
Yeah.
Vader's like, "I need to defend myself." But no, I think yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because they both don't want to kill the other.
Yeah.
which is really different.
I think it's a flood of emotions. It's like this. He's seeing his son for and speaking to his son for the first time in ages. I mean, obviously you've seen him earlier on, but I mean before that, of course not at all. So he's probably like, "This is my son." A flood of emotions. He probably still thinks of him as a son, but he's
well,
so
he does.
corrupted by the dark side. that
I
he's torn.
I think it's a test.
Of who?
I think the whole thing is it's a test of Luke's strength to see
Oh, right,
what he's
by
become
Palpatine.
since the last. I think Vader's told him what he's like, and the Emperor wants to see it right in front of him, just like in Revenge of the Sith
Yeah.
with Anakin and Obi-Wan and
Absolutely.
Dooku.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that is the test, and he sees that Luke has this power.
Yeah.
And then we have that really heavy speech from Vader.
when he talks about the sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, a sister.
I think still going along with the Emperor's plan here.
Yeah, I think he's got something else going on because he wanted Luke to help him to overthrow the Emperor.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's that bubbling in there as well.
I think
it's incredibly complex.
He's trying to push Luke. He wants to get Luke as angry as he possibly can.
Vader wants him on the dark side for himself.
Yeah.
Palpatine wants him on the dark side for himself.
Vader also,
and Luke wants Vader back on the light side.
Yeah.
I mean, what an amazing scene straight
Vader-
away.
All this is going on.
Yeah.
You've got a battle going on outside.
Yeah.
Vader also knows that if Luke's not powerful enough, they won't be able to overthrow him together anyway.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, it's either me that's going to go down or the Emperor. Luke's got to be strong enough.
Yeah.
And oh god, he must be so conflicted.
But then,
Absolutely.
But then, like I said, he then loses it after that speech.
Amazing.
And you just have him. You know, he hits Vader down. He's holding the rail.
Could easily
and
kill
Luke
him at
is
that
just
point.
going bang, bang, bang,
It's
non-stop.
brutal.
That is just pure hate.
Yeah.
At
There's
that
no
moment,
Jedi training going on.
Yeah,
here.
at that
No,
moment,
it's wild, dark side, pure instinct.
I was going to say, at that moment for me, he turned.
Yeah. Or
He changed.
essentially he's over the precipice, he's just holding on.
And I think that knocked Vader.
Yeah.
That surprised him a lot. And then the hand went off. And
Vader's
there's that,
like, there's nothing I can do against this guy.
Yeah, and there's that look that Luke has when he looks at his hand. And I always think, in my opinion, that's him going, that's what I could become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he is becoming that.
Yeah.
Already he's taken that first step.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's what draws him back.
And then he throws it down and just
It's
says,
unbelievable.
"No."
The parallel with Revenge
Yeah.
of the Sith, because obviously Palpatine
It's
says
massive.
to Anakin, kill Dooku, and Anakin's like, oh, I shouldn't. And he's like, go on. And he's like, yeah, go on then.
Yeah,
It's that he says, I shouldn't as well. It's like he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas Luke, in this moment, as you just
Exactly.
said, he throws his
He just
saber
says-
away.
He has that inside him,
Oh.
but drops it and then says that beautiful line, I am a Jedi like my father before me.
Whereas Anakin said,
You
it's
failed
not your
your highness.
Jedi way.
Yeah.
When they asked him to kill Palpatine.
Yeah, one of them
Yeah.
believes in it, one of them absolutely doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's Luke. That's him then.
It's
As soon as he says that line, I'm a Jedi like my father before me,
Yeah.
he's made that decision.
He's resisted.
There is no possible
Yeah.
way he can go back.
Yeah.
If they can't make him, then that's it, he's a Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's, well, the Emperor just
He
thinks,
knows that.
well, I have to kill him then because he's just going to be an enemy.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Emperor has not been denied by anyone,
Yeah.
like for so long.
Yeah.
It's an unusual thing, obviously, because he's such a powerful force user, he's such a powerful politician.
Yeah.
He has his own way all the time. He had his own way with Anakin, who was the most powerful Jedi of all of them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Luke defies him. It's unbelievable. Do you think Luke is like, no, I'd rather die a Jedi? Is it that?
I think it is, yeah.
Do you think he knows that he's throwing away his saber, he's like, nope, I'm not going to fight
Yeah,
anymore.
because I think at this
Temptation's
point
gone.
he knows his friends are out there as well. They're all fighting for this moment.
Yeah.
That I think he knows how much it means to him.
Yeah,
And
how much it
I-
matters.
I think after seeing Vader and knocking him down and stuff like that, he's proved himself. He's just knocked Vader down, turned around, and then thrown it down and
Yeah.
gone, I'm still a Jedi.
Yeah.
You failed.
Yeah, definitely.
And I
That's
think
so much
unbelievable.
stronger.
To show that this massive empire conglomerate and this man at the top has failed.
Yeah, amazing.
And I think that's what he wanted to do, and that's why Palpatine just knows he needs to kill him, and then the lightning
Oh
comes
my
out.
god.
Here we go.
Something we've never seen before at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
He just produces lightning and
I was
cooks.
big old WTFs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet.
It used to shock me seeing it run through
Oh.
Luke's skeleton.
Yeah, and through Vader's as well.
Yeah,
And
and
there's-
that was huge as well. We saw
pain.
Vader's skeleton
Yeah,
through his
through his arm. Yeah.
But then it was that the screams from Luke,
And he's pleading with Vader.
Father,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And then, bam.
Big boy.
But there's the thing again, the lightning is reflecting off of his helmet,
Yeah.
because we haven't seen him, but he's not been electrocuted yet. We see the lightning reflecting off his helmet, and it's almost as though you can see his brain whirring, and he's going from side to
Well,
side, and he's
there's
like,
that little turn of the head.
he's conflicted.
Yeah.
Oh, the depth of emotion in a figure which does not express anything.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? Unbelievable. It's the score, it's everything that's been set up.
Yeah.
It is the performance as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's- oh my god. And then, the moment,
Throws him
Anakin
down.
Skywalker
Picks him up.
returns,
And he's back.
and that's it. That's the moment.
And-
Anakin's in there. Hayden Christensen's in there.
And ultimately,
There's a
he
thought.
died a Jedi. So.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
horrible war criminal, but a
And
Jedi.
so for me, this is what destroys the sequels for me, because at that moment, from 1 to episode 6, Anakin is the chosen one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's done it.
Yeah.
He's destroyed it, and that's the end of the film for us. They
Yeah.
have a lovely party and stuff like that. And, Vader obviously dies, but he had to die.
Yeah.
Because that was his path.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not really dead. He is one with the Force.
Well, yeah,
Exactly,
it's incredible.
And then you see him at the end.
That's because he died a Jedi, though, isn't it? He
Well, yeah, I
died with
suppose,
good
yeah.
in his heart,
And
and
he was he had the power, obviously.
yeah.
But for that to be an end of a trilogy, that
Yeah.
massive moment there,
Mm.
it's amazing, and that's a trilogy there.
Yeah.
It's the arc of Anakin.
Yeah.
And when you think of it like that, because obviously when you initially watch Return of the Jedi, it's from Luke's perspective,
Mhm.
of course. But when you're, like you were saying, you think, what is Anakin thinking in this moment? Because
Yeah.
it's Anakin there.
It's
Anakin
Anakin's
that we've
story.
seen for 3 films on his own, and we've seen Fall to the Dark Side. And his son has come to rescue him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is the thing about this film. It's the scope of this film. The other 2 films, like Star Wars, was revolutionary. Empire was like the kitchen sink drama. It was believable sci-fi. It was like that was revolutionary as well. This is opera on a massive
literally
scale.
Definitely.
is.
Definitely.
And then
These incredible things.
And then Luke manages to take his father's body,
Yeah.
and they blow up the space station.
They do.
And
Lando,
that,
the legend.
yeah, Lando does it. But I always love to watch when they fired
The torpedoes.
their torpedoes, and then you just see it slide on its side and bang.
Yeah.
And then you got that race out. At the same time, Luke's trying to drag his father's body.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I want you to get out, but I want you to get out.
Yeah.
Slow down.
And you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my
Yeah.
god. And then that little moment, oh, this killed me, when the fire goes over the cockpit of the
of
Falcon.
the Falcon, you're like, oh, that's it.
And then they get out,
Yeah.
and bang.
And it goes another insane explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've really stepped it up from the first film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were more explosions. Way more.
And that's
Beautiful.
And that is Return of the Jedi.
and that is Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
But
what
that,
a journey.
but I always think in my head that film is always about that moment.
Yeah.
Anakin, Emperor,
Yeah.
and Luke.
When we go back to the prequels, we have to remember that because you have to have seen, because we've talked about Return of the Jedi now. We vaguely referenced the prequels, but we need to talk about Return of the
We
Jedi
will.
because
I think
the
Revenge
Emperor's
of the
still
Sith,
there.
probably when we finish off that
Yeah.
trilogy, we can then kind of go over.
It's so interesting to look at it as a whole arc because
Yeah.
it's magnificent
Definitely.
as a whole arc.
Yeah.
If
And
you've
then
got
we'll
issues with the
revisit
nitty gritty,
again with the sequels as well as a whole.
Yeah,
arc.
yeah.
Oh,
of
I
course.
think the sequels, as much as we'll talk about the sequels, the most important part is coming from the originals.
Yeah, well, it's these 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then the sequels are something separate.
That will be a
Yeah,
different.
so, yeah. But we'll see. how
That
they
will be
fit
a
into
whole
the-
different thing.
We'll
It
see
will
how they fit
sequels.
into the entire
The
arc
continuity,
anyway.
Absolutely, Ben.
We will.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished a trilogy.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
We have finished a trilogy. 3 films done.
Big stuff.
Amazing.
And yeah, we just want to say thank you very much
We do.
to everyone that has been listening and stuff.
All our lovely subscribers.
We're going to be starting to push heavier and heavier. We're going to be a lot on YouTube as well, getting
We
some
are.
videos on there.
Yeah.
silly
and
things.
and
Silly people.
We're very excited. But alas, we will not be jumping back to the prequels
No.
after this episode. We're going on to something new. The prequels
We
will
like to
come
mix
later.
it up, don't we?
Got to mix it up. And you know what we're doing? It's going to be Game of Thrones.
By popular demand as well.
Yes.
stuff.
Next week we will start on season 1 Game of Thrones. We will
Amazing.
talk the whole season. It will be incredible.
It's an incredible season of
It'll be
television.
big. But
Our first TV show as well.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Very
look
cool.
at that.
But for Star Wars, the original
Oh,
trilogy,
it's unbelievable.
thank you for everything you've done for our childhoods.
And for film and for popular culture.
Yeah.
For everything.
You've changed every tiny
Yeah.
bit.
George, we've got our quibbles with you, but you're a god among men.
But and also watching the sequels, well, I love you.
yeah.
I
you
love
look at Return of
everything-
the Jedi, the weakest film, it's
Yeah.
in a different league.
Oh, different league of
to-
weak
Yeah.
Yeah.
compared to. It's like if Usain Bolt had a dicky toe.
Yeah, it's still Usain Bolt.
Yeah, it's
You're
still
like,
Usain
okay, great.
Bolt.
Then I really like that. I really like that. I think that actually
It's
works.
true.
It's
It's true. But thank you very much. I've been AJ Jenks.
I've been Ben Pryor.
I've been Chris Weeks.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's been 8 Days of Geek.
Hey!
I need your. Oh, I thought you were starting it.
Oh no. I ain't got nothing.
Oh, for God's sake, I can't even do
I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a geek.